So I was asked by a teacher to make a hardwood desk with some inlays. So I started by going to the lumber yard and I got some 5-foot lawn boards. The end desk will be 4 feet long and 2 feet wide. So I bought them a foot oversized, just so I could have enough to trim down. So I decided to wheel my planer out to the middle of the garage so I had enough room to put the boards through. And it was about an hour of planing. Most of that was just messing around with the vacuum. And the vacuum didn't work very well. Dust got everywhere, so I had to open up the garage door, let some of the air out. So here's the boards before I sent them through, and then here's right out of the planer with some new blades. So then I had to clean up each side of the board, and I don't have a joiner, so I just put each side through on the table saw. And then I had to rough cut them down. And my miter saw wasn't quite the right width, so I did it in 2. And here's my lines for my doweling. I had to do the dowels just to keep it all flat. And there's my doweling jig. And it's really easy to use. Just line up the holes and drill. And then I clamped it all up. I lost that footage because my phone had issue with storage. But I just clamped them. Then I needed some boards down the center to keep it all flat. And I had a strange issue of one of the boards was a different color than the rest. I think it was from a different part of the tree, but I'm not sure. So I just put it in the center. It kind of looks part of the whole piece. I also, you can see there, the weight of the piece was making my table saw tip, so I had to cut a piece of pine to fit under my fence. This thing really maxed out my table saw. You can see there I measured 3 times because I didn't want to mess this step up. Just slowly working it down to the right size. And there I put the lines for my inlay, and then I had to route it out. And this was the only clip that wasn't deleted because of my phone. And of course my phone falls in the middle of it. But it's simple, just run the router across the straight edge. And then I had to plane down the walnut. And then cut the inlay. So I cut a large piece and then I would go back and work it down a bit. And then to get it to the right thickness, I used Jimmy DeResta's trick of the rip and flip. You cut it halfway through and then you take it out and cut the other half. That's probably saved my fingers quite a few times. Then that's all the inlay in. And then I had to put some boards in the center because the middle piece was so long it had a bit of a bow from the tension in the wood. And then I had to cut the trim around it. And then that's the only clip I got of routing the trim. I also had the router grab in one place, and that's the best patch that I could do. It sucks, but it happens. And I had to fill in the epoxy for the knot. I lost footage of pouring it, I just had the footage of mixing it. And then I sanded and finished. In the finish I did 2 coats of thinned lacquer before I sprayed it, just to build up, fill in some of the pores. Spray lacquer gives you a better finish, but it's impossible to build up, at least on a project this size. and then I wet sanded with 3000 grit just to even everything out, keep the semi-gloss. And here it is in the classroom on its base. The base was a sit-stand desk. So that's it. Till next time.